Appreciate it. Good. Working? Well. Welcome to Walmart. How are we doing today?
Fine, Peter.
Good, good. Rob, I have never been in here before.
Nope, this is the apprehension office.
I'm so excited.
Our office is where we usually are.
I love it.
Yeah. Let's take a seat here and just kind of chit-chat a little bit. So,
Sounds like a good idea.
all right.
Did you get my email about the scheduling?
Yes.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on that exactly?
So basically, you were hired with open availability from 7 to 11.
Okay.
So how the scheduler polls it however the scheduler polls it. It's all computerized.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that sometimes goes in there is if we have like a certain event going on or something like that. Those times might be changed and altered and that type of stuff. But
Okay.
But the company wants us to follow what the computer thing does and stuff like that.
Okay.
So with that being said, though,
Because that's not the discussion I had when I was hired with Dylan. I did express a strong preference when I was hired for having a regular schedule, and we talked about what he called clopins, like closing, and there weren't any of those that I could see in the next few weeks.
Sure.
But I was really clear when I started here that I needed to have a kind of like if you want me on mornings, great. If you want me on evenings, great. Just it was just like 2 weeks out from now, Rob.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to get a hold of you for a very long time. But again, when you have however many different people who are kind of watching over you at every given time, I've been trying. I asked Cheryl this morning. I said, Cheryl, what's going on with this? And she said, oh, you got to talk to Dylan. Dylan says, oh, you got to talk to Rob. And Rob's on lunch. But I'm glad we finally did get to connect. I appreciate it. So 2 weeks out, we have a close next week. Okay, and I'm like, okay, fine. But then I get the schedule for 2 weeks out, and then there's morning, and then it goes up and then down again. And it's just I have a rhythm. I'm trying to do I'm killing myself to do my very best for you. And I make it look easy, but it's like I have a well-regulated pattern that makes me able to perform at my very best for you folks, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be on time. I'm trying to not work unscheduled hours per your feedback, and I'm trying to follow it to the letter. Mm-hmm. So, forgive me if I'm, kind of all over the place here. And frankly, there's like I don't know why. If we could kind of handle this in a more informal setting, everybody's really like, this is the second time I have Kyle sitting here, and frankly, it's a little intimidating, okay? Because I'm trying to do my very best here. Sure. But anyway, I'm sensing you had something else you wanted to talk with me about.
Yeah, so essentially, we got to talk about basically you and Walmart as well. So basically, there's some stuff that's happening where it starts becoming questionable of what's going on. So you were here on your orientation day, and obviously there was some stuff either you agreed with or didn't agree with. Obviously through the emails, there's stuff that you agree with and don't agree with and stuff like that. And we were trying to tell you simply that this is the Walmart way, this is how it's done. That there's not much change to corporate, in that portion of it.
Okay.
They listen. They take in feedback, but it's not something that stuff can change like overnight within 24 hours.
I know. Dave asked me not to email his higher-ups, and so with the exception...
Just to follow the open door policy.
With the exception of the the hotline meant for that number, and frankly, sometimes I feel like I want to make sure I'm protected. Okay.
Sure.
I want to make sure. So, but I haven't gone to Susan. He said, don't email Susan. Kyle remembers from the first meeting. Don't email some other person I hadn't even talked to. Don't email Courtney. I've been I've been following that. Okay, I did wake up this morning. Okay, I went to I work out before every shift. I have a very carefully regulated, high performance regimen. I go through every single. It's part of my lifestyle, so I can be the very best employee you've ever had in your life. And I saw on the news today that our southern border is being attacked, and I'm concerned about it. I'm concerned about it. I do believe. I'm trying to do the right thing. I do believe that our vote was hijacked. I really do believe that. I don't believe.
So I'm just going to stop you there.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
What does that have to do with the Walmart work right now? That you do here at the store. What does that have to do with Walmart?
It doesn't have anything.
It doesn't. You're right.
Yeah, it's a non-operations concern.
We don't need an email on it. We don't need.
Well, part of being my job is situational awareness. Okay, so.
But of here at the store.
Right.
Not about something that's happening overseas.
It's all connected.
No.
It's like, I don't know. The more I've lived it, the more I've seen patterns. It's a butterfly effect kind of thing. And frankly.
So let's talk about today, basically.
Okay.
So today you came into the store.
Yes.
You punched in.
Yes.
What happened after you punched in?
After I punched in early because I knew I had to communicate. I had to communicate to 7 team members that my scheduling is off. The first person responsible for that, and again, I was rushing to get out to the. I was rushing to get out to the very front of the store.
Yeah.
I was rushing out to the front of the store, so that's why I banged out that note.
Yeah.
I banged out that note, and because I wanted to make sure every single team member responsible for me. Mm-hmm. Again, I have 7 different bosses, trying to keep up with all of you. You're never available. So. You're never available. I tried. I saw you earlier. I said, "Oh, Rob's on lunch. I want to respect your lunch."
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So.
Frankly, I'd like to communicate more in person,
mm-hmm.
But there's really no way of communicating with you folks. There's no, I don't have a channel besides email. And so that's the reason sometimes I need to write in an email. I asked you if maybe we could do lunch or something, and you said, oh, company policy says no. Okay, that's fine. But there's got to be a better communications channel because I'm new here. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to learn how things work, and I have no means of communicating with anyone. And when I do, I'm passively ignored.
Okay.
Cheryl is ignoring me.
I don't think she's ignoring you. It's just the fact of the matter is I think it's how you're talking to them.
Well, you have to keep in mind, you kind of scolded me, not scolded me, you hinted that I should not be working unscheduled hours, and I agree with you. I think that I should handle personal emails on personal time. I'm thinking, well, they want me at the store, they want me at the front of the store. First of all, I need an extra 2 minutes, which are unscheduled. The clock won't let me in 9 minutes. So first of all, I have that pressure of, I don't know if it was Kyle or Brian that told me, he said, you have to be at the front of the store, you got to clock in 2 minutes early every day. Okay. So I'm trying to say, well, gee, how do I communicate these legitimate concerns that I have and do my job 100% the way that I need to do my job 100%? And again, I obviously now see. I have to be friendly to customers all day long, and I'm trying and I have been. So I had 5 minutes. First, my scheduling concerns. First, I wrote Cheryl previously. I wrote Cheryl previously that I had an issue, and this was not yesterday. This was way back. I said, hey, let's kill the evenings, or whatever.
Sure. I know.
Basically, and then I said, hey, I'm looking at the schedule for, and in a friendly and cordial way, I write, I noticed that on an evening, let's please try to minimize the evenings, okay? And then I discover the next, I get the next week's schedule, okay? I get the next week's schedule, and without any reply whatsoever from anybody, from you, from Cheryl, from Dave, from any of my managers. No one talked to me about it, okay? No one, Dylan says talk to this person. Again, everyone is sending me to someone else, and it's a circle. It doesn't make any sense, and I have to be honest with you. It's frustrating, and and I know this is the corporate system you're given, and you don't believe that it should be changed, but again, I'm frustrated because I have no channels to communicate just basic things like what's my schedule, and why is it being scheduled this way. So then I banged out another email this morning, and again, in the 5 minutes I had left over after I have to be here 2 minutes early, I was trying to communicate to Cheryl in like whatever 5 minutes or whatever I had. First of all, print out the logs. You tell me, how was I supposed to get from the back of the store, having clocked in 9 minutes early, because remember, I can't do any emails off the clock because you said I can't do that. Okay, so I clock in at what time did I clock in? At 51, 6:51, right? I have 9 minutes, and I know if I don't address the issue, I'm going to get another week where I have a crazy schedule that, it's not optimal performance for me. So I'd like to ask you, if you were in my shoes, Rob, this morning when I came in, if you were in my shoes, and you had, 7 minutes, 9 minutes, and then -2, so that's seven minutes I had to bang out an email, and plus, I had in the back of my head too, well, email really isn't the right medium to communicate anything, because what it is it's avoidance. And when first of all, I had attempted to, in a very cordial way, approach management before, Cheryl specifically, via email. I think it was a very polite email. In fact, if you remember, Kyle, I went out of my way the very first time that we were here to avoid disrespecting Cheryl in any way. So much so that I appealed to her superiors, and I think I may have copied ethics. I don't even remember this one. But I've bent over backwards to accommodate the emotional needs of Cheryl, okay? And I should, because she's been here a heck of a lot longer. She's got tenure, and I respect her. So I had 7 minutes to, I'm thinking in my head, okay, again, I thought through this very carefully, Kyle, just like I thought through it the first time, okay? And I thought to myself, well, email is an unproductive way of dealing with this. So I thought to myself, well, okay, sure. I wrote an email last night, but I wanted to make sure I was compliant with your don't work off the clock standard. So it was a very brief email. And furthermore, Cheryl said, talk to Dylan, and we all know where that went. So
sure, and I mean we've talked to him and stuff like that, and we know what was said and stuff like that. I was also in the room when he was having the interview with you.
We're losing Kyle. Kyle's getting bored.
And going over the details and stuff like that of the schedules.
Yeah.
And I heard him specifically say that your availability was from 7 to 11. And sometimes that might mean that you'll get 7 a.m.s, but it doesn't always. Okay. So it was the verbiage that he used. Actually, during orientation, Cheryl, Cheryl said, here, fill in your hours for the next 3 weeks. And I deferred. Okay. I filled in the first week, but I said, hey, I think I really need to check with Dylan before filling this in. Okay. There was a concern that Dylan didn't respond to, and when I finally just happened to see him in passing this morning, I tried to talk to Dave about it, but Dave ran past me. Dave didn't want to talk to me this morning for whatever reason. And he might have been in the middle of something,
it could be. Yeah, no, he's a very busy guy. And frankly, you're the person I should be talking to, and I can't get with you about it. And that's very frustrating.
It is.
Very and pardon me if my tone is out of whack here in any way, okay? Because that's not my intention. My intention is to do the best darn job that I possibly can and to function at a high level so that people are happy when they walk in the store. And you know,
So
for what it's
I
worth.
think what it boils down to is you're courteous to customers on that portion of it and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But when we get to the associate portion of it, you know, not so much the associates that you see coming and going through the doors and stuff like that. But I think there's associates throughout that it comes off very, very strong, as if they should stop exactly what they're doing right now and only take care of your stuff. So is what's happening. So there's other stuff on top of that. I mean, back with orientation, you know, there was multiple interruptions trying to get through the orientations. Questions are one thing, but going off topic about marketing, going off topic about stuff that has nothing to do with the orientation, that just disrupted the business basically, and ended up, you know, making it go longer. And then it also possibly affected the other associates that we just hired at the same time, lose track of where they were at their orientation. So now there might be stuff that they don't remember because of the disruptions. I think going over this last week, you know, demanding that the hours be changed, you know, speaking with
I made a request.
Cheryl's today.
I made a request.
No, you were pretty clear in the email that you wanted to change now. So
I made a request, and no one talked to me about it. So you see what's happening is
but Cheryl already had the conversation with you that was your availability.
When was that conversation?
So that took place in the personnel.
Cheryl talked to me about it, but again, it disagrees with what Dylan talked to me when he hired me. We had it. Dylan and
I was in the room and Dylan talked to you.
Yes. And we talked about what he called, he used the word clopens, and I said that, you know, I function best, and you know, and it wasn't, it was a request, and I used the word request.
Yeah. So basically, what it boils down to is respect for the individual. So, you know, putting in those demands. Talking louder.
There aren't any demands. Go ahead.
So,
please.
all right. So maybe not saying the word demand, but expecting that it all changes and happens only your way.
I never made that expectation or demand that it only happens my way. I don't know what you're talking about.
So
when did I say that? When did I say that?
Like I said, not the exact word, but having it within those emails, within the conversations. The conversation that took place today was out of line, to the point that not even like emotion type of thing, but obviously other associates were affected by it and came to us. So we can't have that at Walmart when it comes to respect for an individual. So as far as it goes, and I mean that's not even, we're talking, there's even in your emails that you've sent with your logs, derogatory comments to customers.
Derogatory.
So like protected class.
Well, it's my understanding. It's my understanding that I'm not to use any specific language regarding you know, any you know. It's a protected class. We go just like the language that you folks use in your orientation materials. There's we have to be sensitive to the needs of people who are members of legally protected classes. Otherwise, I'm not doing my job. Otherwise, Walmart could get in trouble. Again, it comes down to sensitivity, and I use that verbiage again intentionally in order to cast dispersions or to, you know.
Okay, but so instead of using the words protected class, a simple description, not of whether they're skin, race, or anything like that, but of what they're wearing, it would have been fine.
Well,
So
I mean, and that's great feedback. It's great feedback, and something that I'm not a loss protection person primarily in my experience. I'm a customer service person, and that's great feedback. It would, thank you for telling me.
But it kind of goes to the tone of everything else and stuff like that when it comes to respect for the individual. That's also a portion of it, is respect to our customers. You know, you're sending emails back and forth to your home email. You made that clear that you're putting yourself on copy in the most recent email.
Well, okay, so let's address that right now. See, we have Kyle right now. You're playing with the stacked deck, okay? Kyle is is sitting there, and that's fine. I understand why you're doing it. Good, best practices. Best practices deem, for anyone with a thinking brain. Right now, you have a witness and everything that goes on here, and I don't have that. I did, I could,
Okay.
but right now, I think it's only fair that you have Kyle here to perhaps recall things from our discussion right now that that maybe maybe you see fit to recall, and maybe you might not recall some other things. So yeah, isn't it for the same purpose in an email, right? If I'm if I'm the employee, and I believe that maybe maybe there's something that might be might be a little, maybe someone isn't respecting this individual very much, and maybe that's maybe there's a culture of hostility that kind of sets in motion some of the verbiage here.
So not every associate has the ability to email outside of the store.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason you do is because you're part of the AP department.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that the company has overlooked and actually is in the process of turning off.
Mm-hmm.
For that one position, but the problem is that it falls within the AP department. Other than that, the only people that are allowed
we're talking. Listen, from what I'm getting from you, this is about respect for the individual. Okay, okay, and so you're not really hearing me, Rob. You're not respecting me. I feel
so here's what's
that
gonna
on the
happen.
basis of my religious beliefs, my sincerely held religious beliefs, and my personal convictions, that maybe my beliefs aren't being respected. Maybe my personhood isn't being respected. And worst of all, Rob, among all this, the fact that I'm going out there and killing myself every single day to be, to really to do a bang up job. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. All the customers seem to think I'm doing a pretty darn good job, at least from what I've heard. In fact, my coach thinks I'm doing a bang up job.
I agreed with you at that point.
So I'm asking for a tiny little bit of understanding here. The fact, all of this, and on top of it, the fact that nobody's communicating with me. Nobody's communicating with me. Again, I'm not placing blame, because I know you have a lot of responsibility. I know you're burdened with three separate stores, responsibilities all over the place, and I came here to work for Walmart because I really love what it stands for. I love Sam Walton. I love everything that he created and believed in. It's certainly one of my go-to places. I think it's a company that's at least historically had really wonderful values, and you guys we do things that other retailers haven't been able to match. That's why I came here, and I thought, well, gee, if there's any fit in this weird corporate jungle for a hard-working, patriotic, faithful employee, it's got to be Walmart. It's got to be Walmart. That's why I came here. That's why I came to work here. That's why, and I thought those kinds of values are, would be respected. And again, I think there's a number of issues with, again, when it calls.
So I think there's a difference of what you're considering respect and what you're considering responding to you, and that type of thought process to it. So we have been responding to you. Are we going to respond to your external email? Never. It's never going to happen. So work email only. So basically what it comes down to is we have sat you down, we have tried talking with you. I've had a conversation with you out here at the front doors about some stuff with the emails and stuff like that.
You're unapproachable, though.
So,
how am I supposed to communicate anything to you? It's basically just sit up there and
if
then
you
talk to
wanted
whoever's passing by.
If you wanted to send me an email, hey, can we meet up on this day? I work. Do you work? Or my schedule is available for associates to see. Whether I'm not going to be at the store or whether I am at the store. there's other things that could have been done. So to say that I'm unapproachable is not the case. So.
Well, I sure had a heck of a hard
Can I
time.
just intervene for just a second? Peter, we're going down a rabbit hole here, and we're getting caught up in
I think there's a lot of rabbit holes,
some
Kyle.
really petty things here.
Petty.
The point that
The fact that I can't communicate is a petty concern.
No, that's not what I said, Peter. That is not what I said.
Well, that's what it feels like to
Okay.
me, and I feel
So
like I'm being disrespected.
Okay, so understand this.
It's respect for the
Everything-
individual, Kyle.
Everything that happens
Yes.
on the front end and everything that you observe and everything that you're doing up there does not need to be reported immediately unless it's a serious safety or health concern, some kind of emergency, or anything like that. I think you feel like by us not responding to you immediately, you feel like we're blowing you off or disrespecting you or whatever the case may be, but we prioritize tasks and responsibilities and all the different things that we do on a day-to-day basis, and your concerns and your scheduling and things like that are important, okay? But in the grand scheme of things, you're scheduled within your availability, and yes, you have concerns about the times and the consistency of that scheduling, and you have every right to have those concerns. But then we would need to reevaluate at some point, either a new availability or something of that nature, okay? But for the time being, we're going to schedule you within that availability.
Okay.
Okay? Now, you getting upset about that.
I wasn't upset. I got no response, and just again, I got a schedule the second week that completely ignored my concerns. So not only did we have the first action that was ignored for over a week, but I got a second schedule where the same exact thing happened, and I didn't get an email. Cheryl didn't say, hey, maybe this, or Dylan, Cheryl said talk to Dylan. Dylan said talk to Rob, and Rob is never anywhere to be found except for now. And what I can only assume is some kind of disciplinary action, because you're sitting here next to him. Rob couldn't have just pulled me aside and said, hey, let's talk about this.
Right.
Couldn't we? Can't we just?
We're trying to focus on the incident that happened this morning, but it keeps getting pushed off.
What incident are you talking about?
The interaction you had with Cheryl this morning.
Interaction with Cheryl.
What happened with Cheryl this morning?
I said mornings and regular, please. My schedule, mornings and regular. I was running to the front of the store, so I had 5 minutes to get to the front of the store. I said, Cheryl, please, mornings, regular, thank you, or something like that.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's all you said to her?
Yeah, I mean, again, I was trying to get to the front of the store and write that email because that's the only way I could get in touch with Rob and my manager. So it doesn't leave me with a lot of time. I got to run from the back, from the time clock to there. I got to log into the computer, and I have to do it all without working off the clock or without working unscheduled hours, which I was thinking of because that's what you wrote me in the email. And I'm trying to listen and be respectful.
All right, so basically what it comes down to is when it comes to associates in our store, there's not respect for the individual with some of them.
Okay.
Not all, but some of them.
Okay, how do I
So-
make this right, Rob,
Well, here's what's going to happen. It comes down to there's just too much over the last few weeks here. So we tried sitting you down right away, having a discussion with you of what you were saying in those emails and stuff like that. That didn't work. I tried talking to you a little bit. Talking about how your emails and that type of thing.
I listened to your emails and I responded to them and I changed my behavior accordingly.
So, but what still didn't change is the respect to the individuals when something's not going your way. So, with that being said,
I listened, and other people are not respecting me as an individual.
That's the exact thing. What I'm saying is, your respect, saying that you're not being respected, is you wanting it your way. So
I didn't say that. If we had sat down for a moment and talked, if you had said, hey Pete, why don't we talk about this for a moment, and that's you know, I tried to, you know, I approached you. You said you're eating your lunch, and that, you know, and that's respect for the individual.
Definitely.
But
Like I said, not all associates.
You can't leave. I mean, think about it. And I'm not telling you what you can. I'm not telling you how to do your job or whatnot. But I mean, I've been alone for the last week, essentially. I've had team leads to go to. I've tried to go to them. I went to them in an email. I copied you in the email. And the only way that I knew how, because my boss wasn't there. I sat down with Dave and Kyle the first week I was here. I said, gee, I think my boss is Rod, but I'm not really sure because Cheryl's sending me to Dylan and all these other people. Do you understand how frustrating and confusing that is?
Yeah,
like how is that respecting an individual? How is that? It's unclear.
There's a portion of you just came at a bad time where I was out of the store for almost the whole week.
I guess so.
So
is there any accountability there in any sense?
So basically what it comes down to is, you know, you and Walmart just are not going to work. So as of today, you're going to be separated from the company for gross misconduct, respect for the individual.
Gross misconduct?
Yeah. So basically, all that means is it doesn't actually mean gross misconduct. It's considered a non-rehirable.
Well, then they shouldn't hire it.
So,
they shouldn't call it gross
right,
misconduct.
so again, it has nothing to do.
If it doesn't really mean that, I think it does mean
So-
that, and I'm not guilty of gross misconduct. And frankly, I take that very personally,
Okay,
Rob.
so respect for the individual falls under gross misconduct under our policies. That's why it's under there. So
You can't. I mean, if you want to accuse me of disrespect for the individual and completely disrespect me in every single way imaginable because of the corporate jungle of systems, which happens to be here again, not your fault. I understand. I'm not placing blame on you. If you really want to do that, you know, then that's Walmart's decision because you guys are a private company, and frankly, I was on your side. I thought Walmart was a great company because I think you guys do so much. You know, I think you guys do so much good. But you're, you know, I guess maybe I misjudged. Maybe I misjudged. Maybe I gave Walmart too much credit. I thought you guys were the good guys, and you guys were able to. We're doing a net good for society. But maybe the opposite is true because right now you're accusing me of gross misconduct and you're saying that I'm disrespecting the individual. And unfortunately, right now, at least from what I've seen, you know, maybe it's not all the stores, you've grossly disrespected me, both of you, by saying that and by saying that it's at a level where, what I've learned here is that your ethics department doesn't care about ethics. Frankly, now if I were to diagnose the problem, I'd say that Sedgwick is probably a bad influence on Walmart. Frankly, I know they're in charge of compliance. That's what it really should be called, compliance, because obviously you guys don't respect me and you don't respect most of your staff. Not really.
Okay. So other than that, we're going to need your vest, your name badge. You won't have a discount card. You don't have a knife or anything like that for like one of the yellow cutters, probably not.
I don't have it on me because I never first saw a use for it.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's fine. But other than that, as of right now, your employment is separated.
I'm very disappointed on a personal level with both of you folks. I really wanted to grow with you folks, and I guess this just hit me like a ton of bricks. Gee willikers. I really tried. I gave it my darndest. Really gave it my darndest.
I think what it really comes down to is the way that you talk to the associates. So
I've treated every associate here with the utmost respect, and I spent time trying to handle things as tactfully as possible. Again, I was wronged twice by Cheryl, and I bent over backwards, even appealing to people that could help. I asked for help. I said, "How do I deal with this situation with Cheryl? How do I do this? It's not my place to discipline Cheryl because I'm just a new employee, but she's doing something really wrong. How do I do?" I asked your
but
leadership.
She wasn't doing anything wrong.
Well, that's neither here nor there at this point. That's besides the point. That's
Or
a rabbit
you just don't
trail.
want to tell yourself that she was doing nothing wrong.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's a good idea to tell all of your new employees story of a man who gave Walmart his all. I was looking out for you guys. I was looking out for you guys. She said she tells all the new employees, at least the ones I was with. And I didn't say this while we were in the meeting. I said it. I said afterward. I didn't even tell Cheryl about it at all. I asked Cheryl about it. I said, listen, Dylan happened to say this. You may want to talk to him about it. And I brought this up in a meeting with David. Of course, I know this is all just corporate, mutual, but but this is. I brought up the point with Cheryl. I said, how do I handle this? I begged. She says, this is the story of the Walmart employee who he gave it his all these years, showed up early every day, and then he had a heart attack on Christmas Day while decorating it. I was the one who found out about it. She was just, and I thought, I was like, well, how do I tactfully deal with this? Because obviously this is not going to encourage and inspire new employees. If I had a dime for every employee who told me, well, gee, customers are the, they just have a low opinion of they hate the customers, and the ones I've talked to, especially the new ones. I'm telling you that you have a problem. I mean, I know without fear of error, you have an issue with your hiring process.
There's many out there that don't like customers, and there's some that do. And
that's a
we
problem.
find them and eventually deal with them as needed.
Yeah.
So is what it boils down to.
And I've treated your customers, and really you. I could have done a better job. I could have done a better job, and I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect.
I think really what it comes down to is you have to think about what you're going to say before you say it. So.
Yeah, I do. I think a lot about what I'm going to say before I say it.
It comes out really wrong. So it comes out demoralizing to the associate. It comes out aggressively. And I'm being honest with you here.
I appreciate that. I know. I appreciate feedback, even if I don't always disagree. I appreciate hearing it.
I mean, going for the future, I'd really look at how you talk to people, because it comes off very aggressive. So, and it might be excitement as far as you see it, but it comes down to the tone, the movement, the leaning forward, the hands, that type of thing. It all goes into play when you're talking, how someone interprets it. But when multiple people come and talk about a conversation and say, this was aggressive.
I was trying to get to the front of the store to comply with everything that you told me to do. Okay, and I knew email wasn't working. I said, I got to talk to someone in person. And she was the only person. She just happened to be the person, who happened to be passing by when I saw it. And frankly, it's probably not her fault. It's probably not even her fault. And that's the sad thing about the whole thing, is that if you had taken the time, Rod, to just sit down and chat about the bloody schedule, we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
No, that's not how
we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Like you were told when you were hired. So, with the scheduling and your availability, and that type of thing.
I was told there wouldn't be clopens, and I was told that we're going to try to accommodate availability. We're still new, so we're still kind of we were still trying to figure out what lines that would fall along.
So I'm not going to sit here and listen to, I should have done this and I should have done that. So
well, you should have respected my individuality the same way that you respect me to respect other people.
Our conversation's done. So as far as we'll pay it 2:03 p.m. So because we're just going to keep going around back.
Well, I'd say there's a lot here at Walmart that keeps going around back in circles. Like the way Cheryl said to talk to Dylan said to talk to you. And, again, how am I supposed to have faith in you if you're not here and you're my boss, or you're you're the point person I'm supposed to talk to? But of course, Walmart doesn't appear to care about ethics. Their ethics.
The thing of the AP department, what it really boils down to is there's a lot of self-supervision that has to happen with it. So this job in any of the AP job codes requires a lot of self-supervision.
Not the first week on
So-
the job. And not, again, this is a problem stemming from that, your inavailability to talk to me the first week on the job. That's what this really is about. And I
Okay.
know, yeah, I know you can't see
That's-
that. I know you can't see that. And of course, you're in a position of authority. So if you say you're fired, I'm fired, and I can't do anything about it. But the truth of the matter is, and maybe it's because you have too many responsibilities. It's not even necessarily, but there's something wrong, and this is what I've been trying to say the whole time. There's something wrong with the, I guess what I'd call the compartmentalization of departments here, that everyone is just narrowly focused, that nobody can see outside their own department, and that's why I had to write that there's no communication. There's a break. There's no way I can communicate, and so you have these concerns, and I couldn't go to anybody about them. So anyway, I'm sure you folks probably aren't interested in hearing anymore.
So I wish you the best of luck. As far as it goes with anybody that you apply for in the future, you can keep that if you want.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Those are yours. So if someone does call and ask about your employment, all we can tell them is that you worked here from this time to this time and did this job. If they ask for any specific details of separation, we obviously don't give out those details. We can only tell them that you worked from this time to this time and this was your job. So however you want to put it on your job applications, basically, they won't be told anything different other than the time frame that you worked here for and the job that you did. So, all right?
Gentlemen, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. It's been my pleasure serving Walmart. I'm sorry that things had to end this way, but I'm sure there's a big, bright, beautiful tomorrow for all of us, somewhere, somehow.
So usually we're supposed to walk with the associate, obviously, to exit them out of the store. I don't think we've got to do that today.
I don't think I'll remove myself.
So just go ahead, grab whatever you need to grab from the back. That's your stuff. Do you have your jacket or?
I do. Let me just ask you real quick. I buy everything at Walmart. Am I allowed to shop here?
Oh yeah, we're not trespassing.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
you're
plan
not-
on it now.
No.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no.
Completely fine
Nothing
here.
like that. Yeah, everything stays confidential within this room. So
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing.
Want to make sure I'm doing right by everybody. Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Well, I'm really sorry it didn't work out. I really did come in here with the very best of intentions, and I wanted to do a good job. That's all. I just wanted to do a good job. I wanted to find a good fit for for me, and that's why I came here. So anyway, I wish you both the very best, and I'm thankful for the time that I got to experience the training and everything that I got to experience here. It's been a privilege so far, and I'm thankful for it.
Good. Thanks, Peter. All right. Thanks, Peter.
Take care.
Yep.
Have a good day.
They just asked me. Rob just asked me.
You mean they can't?
been a privilege and an honor. What happened? They fired me. No, there's no respect for the individual. They hate you. What are you gonna